Yo, and we are live, baby. Once again, we have a glorious day. Today is Thursday, July 20th. July 20th, man, time flies by. With that said, we have 10 minutes to the market open, so let's go over these levels. Let's go over a few things that I'm looking at right now. And just so you know, as far as I know, we don't have any economic events to be worried about. We had unemployment claims this morning at 5:30. We saw an increase in volume, but other than that, it seems like pretty chill day. Tomorrow is Friday, and we also don't have anything, so we shouldn't have any sporadic or sudden increases in volatility. It should be pretty chill. Um, but anyways, let's get to those charts here. So looking at NASDAQ first, I identified a really good setup. But again, I'm on the west side, so for me, it's hard to get on the screen at 5. That's the time I'm waking up. But this would have been a really solid trade. Um, Everything that I look for here, we supported the trend line. We broke below VWAP. We broke past the transition to control zone. Then we broke past this trend line down here. So I'm starting to use more trend lines. I want to be selective with my trades. So for that reason, I am incorporating more trend lines while also still using the same methodologies and practices that I've been working on for the last year. I just find like I've been noticing that with using trend lines and using the break of supply and demand zones, like it works really well. So yeah, I just wanted to show this example here because that's usually what I'm looking for. But going to the higher time frames here, uh, I have a 4-hour supply zone. You can narrow it down. You can simplify it to a 1-hour supply zone if you wanted to. But we did bounce off of this level, so we had that as a confluence to that trade that I just showed you guys. And then right now we are bouncing off of this 30-minute transition to control zone, which is a support zone. I'm noticing this right now, and I might actually take it. This trade right here, I like it. I might actually take this right now. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and hop on this trade going long. We bounced off of this zone here, and now we're starting to see broke trend line. We're gonna buy it up right here.
Order filled.
So we got in long, and I know it's very sudden, but I just noticed that right there. We hit one of my high time frame zones, and now we're breaking past the trend line and we're breaking past an opposing zone, which I like. We're seeing some nice aggressive volume coming in right now. So let me go back to the 2 minutes. That way you can see exactly what I'm looking at. So this little zone here, you see how we broke past it with some volume. We broke past the trend line, and we're also bouncing off of this 30-minute support, 2-hour supply zone like that. I have so many confluences there, so that's one of the reasons that I decided to take it. And I'm noticing the same thing here on ES. So I'm in long right now on NASDAQ. And the one thing that I'm looking at here, we could potentially, a good target here would be, I would say VWAP, or maybe even, I'd want to see how this 15839 level reacts. 15839 level reacts. So let me go ahead and draw that 15839, and then VWAP get rid of a few lines here. All right, so going back to the levels, right? So let's let this play out right here, and then we'll go ahead and talk levels. Now, I'm only risking on this particular play, I'm only going to risk about 7 points on NASDAQ, which isn't a lot. So I got in had a really good entry here. But I mean, just notice a strong rejection here, very aggressive volume after hitting this support zone. It was quite a few things, right? 30-minute transition to control zone, support, 2-hour supply. So I like the increase in volume, aggression, breaking past trend line, breaking past this zone here. So yeah, I like it. Now I would just want to see some continuation here. But we're seeing the same thing here on ES. So during this time, I'd normally be talking about the my high time frame levels, but since I did identify this trade, we're gonna let this thing play out and then go from there. So we're seeing the same thing on ES. Same thing on ES. I just want to see where we bounced off of ES here. Currently up on this position. I do want to see ES. We bounced, I guess, okay, we bounced off of this. You always want to look at the source, like where are these rejections coming from? Like, is there a reason why we're bouncing off of it? And we did have a really strong candle here. So now I just want to see a break past this 15,839 level. Like I said, that was going to be an area to watch out for. But I really want to target what you call it, VWAP. So we did see an increase in volume. I'm hoping we can just break past that. And I wouldn't mind holding this position up until market open. I think maybe we have a really good zone here. And we've bounced off of this zone, and I've noticed NASDAQ has been opening pretty volatile. I mean, I'm only risking 7 points on this. Or, yeah, risking 7 points, which isn't too much. So I'm gonna just hold it until, you know, market open, and then if we get a really strong push to the upside, I'll be sure to take some profits here. But market should be opening any second now. You're gonna hear that bell go off. And again, I don't mind losing 7 points on this if it means, you know, having the possibility of making a good amount. Let's see. But we are seeing a pretty strong rejection here. That was let me go back to NASDAQ here. There it goes. Targeting VWAP first. I'm gonna go ahead and target VWAP first. It already broke past that resistance line that I have drawn there. I think we could potentially get a little more juice out of this trade right here. So at 15,855, that's where I'm gonna take some profit. $15,855, here we come. Okay, I'm gonna take some profit here.
Order filled.
Boom. And then I'm gonna move my stop loss. So we took some profit right when we got to 15. We got close enough to VWAP. I'm not gonna mess around with this, but pretty good trade so far. I'm gonna go ahead. Wow, this thing ran up. Sheesh, man, look at that. If we hit, I'm gonna put my stop loss right underneath, because we're about to hit this 4-hour supply zone. So I'll take some profits here. I'll take the rest of my profits here. So my stop loss is now at 18,865, 15,865. But this thing's gonna keep running, man. Look at that. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful. Stop loss is now at 15,870. 15,870. I'm going to keep moving it because I feel like we're going to see a pretty strong rejection here, and I want to squeeze as much as I can.
Stop filled.
Boom. I'm out. I'm out. We got like about 50 points on that just in under a minute. In under a fucking minute, we got it. What a fucking phenomenal trade. This is what happens when you have a checklist and when you start tracking your trades. It makes it easier to identify the A1 setups. And like I said, we had a high time frame key level. We saw aggression step in. We broke past the transition and control zone. I got in at the immediate retest here, and man, I mean, there were just so many confluences supporting this trade, and we got out as soon as we hit this 4-hour supply zone. This is where I got out. I'm okay with that 50-point trade right there. That, what is that, 200 ticks? 200 ticks, only risking 7 points. Candle range break. And I've been noticing NASDAQ, you know, every time a market opens, it just runs up. It just runs up. And we're noticing the same thing with ES, and I've talked about this before at length. When ES and NASDAQ are both on the same page, it provides so much better opportunities, right? You want them to be behaving in a similar fashion. I'm very happy with that trade. I am very happy with that trade. Man, I hope that the one person watching, I hope you caught that, man. That was a phenomenal trade. Whew. I mean, and you could have traded ES too. We had the same opportunity. I'll go ahead and show you guys. Let me just check something out real quick. Yeah, that was a phenomenal trade. We got out perfectly at 15,875. I'm really happy with where I got out. But let me show you ES real quick. Let me show you ES. So ES, this was literally the same play right here. Same play. And if you look back at why we bounced here, you can see a very strong bullish candle. So we had maybe some kind of imbalance, some kind of demand zone, which justifies this aggressive move, right? So this is one of the, but it's a lot clearer to know. It's a lot easier to notice on NASDAQ, and that's one of the reasons that I look at both, is because sometimes you're gonna see levels. You're gonna see a lot. There's gonna be levels on NASDAQ that are a lot more visible, a lot clear, and then vice versa. There may be levels that are a lot clearer on ES than they are on NASDAQ. So I got to give myself, a pat on the back for that one, because that was a really solid trade, and I'm glad that I held it up until market open. A lot of people may have been spooked, or maybe scared to hold positions up till the market opens. But like I said, I've been noticing NASDAQ just having some really nice momentum every time market opens. So I did see that thing coming. So okay, moving on. Really nice trade. Let's go ahead and look at what else we're looking at here, because we just broke past a few levels of significance. So ES here, we're bouncing off of this level of resistance, but we did break past this 1 hour supply zone, which I'm not interested anymore. But we are bouncing off of resistance up here. Okay, cool. So we're bouncing off of resistance. We're bouncing off of resistance. We're seeing some really strong rejections here. I mean, if we break past this, the next level, we do have, this little gap here. I'd be interested to see. I don't know if we come back down. I don't know. I'm not gonna try to predict what happens next, but it's kind of interesting that we do have somewhat of a gap here. If you look at when the market closed, am I talking about this gap? This little gap here, I think it is. So we do have that little gap there from 45.93 up to 45.95. I don't know if maybe that's where we find. If no, that can't be it. No. Oh yeah. So we did have a very strong rejection there. So maybe we close this gap here, and then we'll see what happens after that. But as of right now, I'm looking at the equities here, and Apple is now above resistance. It's bouncing off of what was once resistance, which has now turned into support. We're seeing some nice momentum to the upside. Okay, cool. So that's Apple. Um, I mean, but if you look at the higher time frames, right now we're looking at ES, right? But if you look at the higher time frames, you could argue that we're like in a box, right? Really strong rejections up here. Look at that. Very strong rejections. I got 2 viewers on here. If you guys would be nice enough to hit the like button, I would highly appreciate it. So if you notice, we are kind of in this box here. We're ranging, kind of going back and forth here. So for that reason, you know, this does have a good chance of bouncing off a resistance and then maybe coming back down, testing these lows. But we do have, like I said, we do have a little gap here, which it's a small gap. It's like 2 points. So I don't know if maybe we'll find, if we'll see like if there's like an imbalance there, where price could potentially turn around after we close it. I don't know. That's one possibility, right? But then I'm also noticing this as well. This I just marked down this level here, this 45.98, which I would consider a level of interest. Let's just call it, I mean, 45.98 up to 4600. That's gonna be a level of resistance as well. I mean, that's a psychological number. So we will find some. We're gonna call this 15-minute TOC plus psychological. As of right now, you know, after capitalizing on that good trade, I don't really want to rush on anything. You know, I already caught a really nice trade this morning, so we don't want to rush anything. And if there's anyone here that may have just joined, feel free to go back and check out why exactly I took this trade. Well, it wasn't on ES, it was actually on NASDAQ. So let's hop over to NASDAQ. But you guys can go back and watch why I took this play here. As you can tell, capitalized really nicely. We got up to this 4-hour supply zone, and that's where I took all of my position out. But right now we are seeing a bounce off of VWAP. VWAP is holding well. It's acting as support. And just looking at NASDAQ here in the higher time frames, I mean, NASDAQ looks like, if you look at the higher time frames, we had support, right? We bounced off of this level. We came down a little more. Seems like price was able to find some liquidity here, and then we found, that's where we saw this aggression step in here. Appreciate the one person that hit the like button. Thank you. Yeah, so ES is having a hard time breaking past that resistance. We're seeing a lot of volume come through every time we come to that 45.93 level. We're seeing a lot of volume come through, so it is concerning, you know, because if buyers keep trying to bring this up and they're not rewarded, then it's gonna be the first sign of a reversal. Looks like ES. I mean, it definitely wants to break above that 45.93 level, and Nasdaq already managed to break past the prior 1 hour candle range, so it got above that 15,872, which is a bullish indication in my opinion. But now we are testing this 15,886 level. This 15.8, which is let me go to the hourly. I'll mark it down for you guys. So that shaded box. Okay, so this line here. So check it out. That line right there, we're gonna have to highlight that as a 1 hour supply zone. Now this was part of my 4 hour supply zone, but if you simplify it down, if you go down to the 1 hour, you can tell that we do have a base. We do have a base and then a big drop. Right, so we do have supply there. Which could explain why we're having a hard time making higher highs. But other than that, I don't have I'd have to wait for more information to look to trade again. Like I mentioned earlier, you know, I'm looking for quite a few confluences. I'm looking for a high time frame level. I'm looking for a break of a trend line. I'm looking for, you know, a break of a low time frame supply zone, because you can argue this is a supply zone right here. We dropped, base, drop, drop, base, drop, right? So I highlight that little base there. And as you can tell, when we got into that base, we saw an increase in volume. We broke past it with increasing volume, saw that immediate retest, and then we also happened to break past this trend line. So it gave me all the confidence in the world to take this long. And then especially after seeing a rejection here. So this is why I like to wait. So we're seeing a rejection here. I want to wait to see if we potentially see strong aggression from sellers coming into the market. Yeah, so just as I mentioned, we're going to have to remain patient under these conditions. I wouldn't advise anyone. This is, and just heads up, none of this is advice, right? But on top of that, I wouldn't advise anyone to long at the highs or short at the lows. It's always better to let the market come to you. Just like any sport, right? You don't rush into the game. You let the game come to you. I'm sure you've probably heard of that one, right? So this for me is the same thing, right? This is like a sport. You want to treat it like one, right? You want to treat it like a sport. So just let price come to you. Let the market come to you. So we're seeing, I mean, there's a lot of sellers. So we're coming back into yesterday's range where we saw a lot of sellers, and then looking at the equities here, we're having a hard time just because, again, we had a lot of sellers step into the market. If you look at Apple, we had a very strong rally yesterday, right around 9. I think that's when they announced that they were having this, that they were working on Apple GPT, right? So that's why we had such a strong pop. And then after that, we had a very strong drop to the downside. So we're coming back into these levels, and as you'd expect, you're gonna find some sellers. You're gonna find some sellers here. So again, it's not looking bright for buyers. By now, you would have wanted you'd want to see higher highs with all this volume, but sellers are doing a good job of protecting this area here, and for that reason, I'd be very cautious. I'd be very cautious. I don't really have much. Yeah, I don't really have much here, if I'm being completely honest. I just see buyers are having a really hard time bringing this up. So for those reasons, I think we could potentially see a reversal. Yeah, so we're seeing the same thing with Apple and Microsoft. The tide is starting to turn around. So I will admit, yesterday I did. I took some good trades, but then I ended up losing on the day. But just after one win today, I've already made that money back and some. So that's the name of the game in trading, dude. That's the name of, and this was literally in 2 3 minutes, bro. So I'm really happy about that. Just really good execution. I got out when I was supposed to. Took profits right when we hit VWAP, and then took some more when we hit this 1 hour, or it was a 4 hour supply zone at the time, but it was right around 15, or I got stopped out at 15,875. So just overall, really good trade, man. Now it makes you wonder every single time, right? Like, man, I should have held the position, right? Like my whole entire position up. But I mean, it had it turned around, I would have been smacking myself upside the head. So I'm just glad that I at least capitalized a little more after we broke past VWAP. Man, all these stocks are going crazy, bro. All these stocks are going crazy. For anyone investing in the long term, for the long term, like Apple, Microsoft, the Qs, Tesla. I mean, all of these stocks. I'm just looking at the weekly time frame, and they've gone nuts. And if you apply the same trading principles and strategies into the higher time frames, like you can win in this game, bro. You can win. I can't wait to start swing trading. Whew, that's gonna go crazy. That is gonna go crazy. With the same strategy that I just applied this morning. Literally the same strategy, just looking at the higher time frames, it's no different. Okay, so going back to NASDAQ and ES here, we're seeing, nice little drop here, just as you'd expect, right? Buyers weren't able to bring price up, and now we're seeing a drop here. Very nice drop here. I'm wondering if we're gonna see, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I'm wondering if this level here where I first took that my trade, if it's gonna hold. We're seeing a lot of volume. Let me check something out real quick. I'm curious to see if we have some sort of trend line supporting Now the thing about trend lines is obviously they are very what you call it, subjective, because you can draw them. Anyone can draw a trend line, right? But it's about how you draw it, right? So you really have to go back test, and see how to and identify how to draw trend lines. We're seeing an increase in volume as we get into the zone here. Now I wouldn't want to get in just because momentum is very strong to the downside. So we just broke past. Yep, we just broke past it. Man, I'm just looking at. May have missed an opportunity here, but it's all good. I'm not even gonna talk about it. I don't have much. $15.69 up to. I think it was this. Yep. Yep. So I will say I did miss out on an opportunity here. Not something I was looking at just because it was really messy, but man, if just following the same practices, right? Trend line broke past it. We bounced off of this 1 hour supply zone, and then we broke past a transition to control zone. If you look at the 1 minute from 15.869 up to 15.880, right? We saw some nice volume come in. So yeah, that was my bad. That would have been a really nice play too. How do we capitalize on that one? So we are currently trading NASDAQ NES. As you can tell, NASDAQ had a really strong push to the upside. We got in right about right here, right before the market opened, all caught on live. So be sure to check us out on the live streams. So we are currently trading NASDAQ NES. As you can tell, NASDAQ had a really strong push to the upside. We got in right about right here, right before the market opened, all caught on live. So be sure to check us out. So I wish I would have learned from the mistakes I made yesterday. So yesterday we had similar action, right, where we saw buyers trying to bring price up and they couldn't. They failed to bring it up. They failed to bring it up, and then we had a really nice push to the downside, and that was a play that I also missed. So not paying attention to what's happening right now can cost you a lot of money. So just want to put that out there. I'm gonna be transparent with you guys, and if I make a mistake, you guys are gonna see it in hindsight. You guys, I mean, not in hindsight, but not the right word, but you guys are gonna see it in real time, and I'm gonna call it out. I'm gonna call it out like it is. You never stop working. So now we're starting to approach, well, we just broke past this key level, right? So this level here, it came down all the way to 15,800. So now we're below 15,800. And then the next level for me is this 15,733. I don't see anything in between 15,800 and 15,733 that's really going to stop price. But ES is kind of lagging right now. We're a little behind here. So when we had a really strong rejection here on ES, I'm curious to see if we're going to bounce off of this. Now I wouldn't want to play long. We're going to go to ES real quick. Right, we just bounced off of this level, which was the same level that we played on NASDAQ, right? But I wouldn't want to play this long. I just want to see if maybe we can have some kind of pullback and then just continue the downtrend. So we bounced perfectly off that level, right? Bounced perfectly. NASDAQ didn't respect it, but it looks like ES is respecting that level. Literally tag that zone. So that's a mean, there's a few reasons I'm not going long here. We bounced off of a high time frame level, off of resistance on Nasdaq. We bounced off of the 1 hour supply. We saw really strong selling come in, and we're below VWAP. We're below our EMAs. This is not something that I'm looking to trade or go long on, for those reasons. There's just too many things that are going against me, so or would be going against the trade. So I'm gauging, and I'm looking at what price does as we bounce off of these levels to see if we can potentially, see some kind of pullback here, because that's really what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a little pullback and then continuation to the downside. We came up to this level here. I'm looking at ES right now, and oh, this is Nasdaq actually. Ooh, Nasdaq. That's interesting. That is very interesting. I think we're gonna see lower lows here. I may have missed another opportunity here. This this zone here. Look at that nice zone. And I'm not just saying it because we tagged it. I'm looking at the volume on the 1 minute. If you look, when we came down to that zone, we had such a nice increase in volume, broke past it aggressively. Excuse me. Bless me. Nice. So you'd want to see a break past this. You wouldn't want to see a double bottom here. You would want to see a break past this. Damn. Ah! Come on, Omar. Man, it happens, bro. I mean, it shouldn't happen twice, but it does happen. That's the second opportunity I missed. So, like I mentioned earlier, the we're looking at Nasdaq right now. So, the only level that I see um, that's gonna that's concerning it isn't all the way until 15,733. So we still got a long way to go, right? Like there's not much stopping price from making lower lows here, and then ES just made lower lows. So this is looking very bearish. So for anyone who got in short, very well done. I'm gonna just draw this little trend line here. I mean, and then just look at that too. That was totally my bad, right? Look at that trend line. Look how price just retraced not only to that zone but to that trend line. We tagged it perfectly, came back down, and that would have been a nice, 50-point move there. One thing I will say, let me find a good way to say it. Let me find a good way to say it. You remember most the mistakes that cost you money. You remember most the mistakes that cost you money than the lessons you learn when you gain money. You learn more from the mistakes that cost you money than the lessons that gain you money. I think there's more of a there's more emotional damage when you make a mistake that costs you money, right? So it's more memorable. It's more memorable than the time you may have won on a play, right? So things like this, like you really want to carry with you. So that you don't make the same mistakes again, right? But sometimes you will make the same mistakes again, right? Especially when you trade the market day in and day out, you're bound to make mistakes. So it really is just part of the process. And one of the things that I've learned, as we talk about mistakes and lessons, one of the things that I've learned is to just move on to the next play, and that's something that not only I care, not only I apply in trading, but also in when I play basketball. I'm a basketball player. For those that don't know, you just got to move on to the next play, man. You may have missed the layup. You may have missed, the ball. You may have gone your ankles broken. It doesn't fucking matter. Just move on to the next play. So we're gonna do just that. So as of right now, very strong downtrend. I love the way the market's moving right now. I will say that. Like days like this are amazing. I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to short. I mean, go long on this. Not until we hit a key level, and like I said, we're coming close to one. We had resistance and a strong rejection down here at this 15,733. That's gonna be a hell of a play, man. Fucking A. That's gonna be. If we come down all the way to 15,733, which I anticipate we will, that's gonna be insane. I guess we do have a little bit of support here. We have a little bit of support there. We just hit that level, 15,753. But we had a really strong rejection down here at this 15,733 level. Golly, bruh. I'm upset that I missed that play, honestly. Back-to-back misses, man. I'm not gonna lie though, drawing trend lines has helped me just visualize the market a little better and understand momentum a little better. So I would highly, anyone watching this, I would highly recommend you learn how to draw trend lines, because it's something that can be applied to any strategy, right? If you have a strategy that doesn't include trend lines, try adding trend lines and see how that goes for you, right? But in my opinion, it's really helped my strategy out, right? Because I trade the break of supply and demand zones. Looking at the 2 minute here, like I said before, this is a rally, base rally, right? So I'm looking at how price reacts as we break past these zones, right? We had a very strong volume as we broke past it. and we saw that immediate retest. It's no coincidence, right? I've done a lot of back testing on this. I've been trading this for a very long time. And now that I have trend lines, like look how it supported that trade. Same thing happened this morning, right? As we broke past the trend line, we also broke past this level here. Saw that immediate retest, and honestly, we had a 1 minute zone here as we broke past this 15,870, and we also happen to break past the trend, right? So that's just today, right? This is literally just going through what happened today. So this stuff does work. Like I said, I would just suggest, not financial advice, but I would just suggest that you try adding trend lines to your strategy. And as always, if you find value, I would highly appreciate it if you like the button. It means a lot. I'm live streaming every single morning. 10 minutes before the market opens, I will be on here. So I think it's fair, right? I show up every morning. You hit the like button. It's a fair exchange. And then if you guys have any questions as well, I can do my best answering them. So feel free to comment down below. So it looks like we may come to that we may come to that 15,733 level. And I do have a doctor's appointment today, so I'm gonna have to call the live stream a little earlier than usual. So I'll probably be on here for another, it's just for a little more. But so far, it's been a freaking phenomenal day. I wish I would have capitalized a little more. I'm not mad at where I'm at right now. It's just, it does kind of get to me when I miss an opportunity like these. And yeah. That is who you are. That is who you are. Man, we have right now the tape is heavy, dude. There's so much aggressiveness right now, bringing price down. I don't know if we'll be seeing a pullback. We literally just went on a tear. 150 points, 150 handles here. Jesus. Jeez Louise. What's going on? So right now the next level is this 15-minute transition and control zone all the way down 15 points below right exactly at 15,710. So price is looking price is looking pretty bearish. I mean, to say the least, man. Oh my god, I'm just wow. This thing just keeps going down. That's insane, dude. That's insane. Should I sell? I don't know, dude. Go based off your strategy. I think you should hit the like button. That's what I think you should do. But man, we just I mean we had a tear, dude. I would if you really want my suggestion, I would wait for a pullback. But shit, who knows? Like this thing just has been selling off a lot of aggression. I wouldn't short the lows. I don't play like that. But if you do, you can throw a few contracts on it and see how that goes. But we just came down to this 15,710 level, rejected it to the T. Now I just don't know with this aggression if it's gonna hold, but we did see some nice volume come in. We rejected it nicely. Maybe we can see some kind of pullback here, and then and find some continuation. Okay, so Microsoft and Apple seem to be rejecting at this level too. Microsoft seems to be consolidating a little bit, so I mean, at some point we gotta pull back, right? You would think. You would think that at some point we're gonna have to pull back, but man, we such a strong downtrend. I'm just smacking myself upside the head right now, dude, because I missed two entries here that I shouldn't have. So seeing this just go lower and lower is like tearing me apart. this is gonna keep going lower, huh? This is gonna keep going lower. Oh my god. What the fuck? What in the actual fuck? The next, I mean, I didn't even chart levels down here, but I'm looking. This potentially 15664, 15664. Another level of support. This is insane, dude. We're coming close. I mean, we're now down close to 200 points, dude. 200 fucking points. How many ticks? That's 800 ticks. Oh my god, bruh. The amount of money you'd make, you know, just shorting this thing all the way down is insane. Yeah, so Apple, Microsoft, like I said, I mean, Microsoft managed to make a lower low. Apple is now starting to retrace a little bit. Um, there's no reason you should be buying this. Not financial advice, but there's no reason you should be buying this because the more probable situation here is we see some kind of pullback and then some continuation here, but this is crazy, man. Close to 200 points. Light in the darkness, my God. You never stop, you never stop. I mean, there's not much to say. You know, really, really strong downtrend. You guys can see it. I mean, I'm not one to advise to short the lows like the homie did, but if it works out, it works out. You know, I like to see a pullback. It's just similar to the one that we saw here, right? And this would have been a phenomenal entry. I just wasn't paying attention, but everything was lining up here. We had already broken past this high time frame level, came back to this level here. It lined up perfectly with the trend line. I had all my confluences there. I just I fell asleep on that one, to be honest. we're really overextended here. Um, yeah, we're incredibly overextended. I don't know. I think we're gonna see some kind of pullback. I just don't know how far it's gonna pull back. It's 15. Mm. 15772. It tip Price typically likes to pull back into levels of interest, right? So right now I'm looking for resistance, for resistance levels that or support levels that turn into resistance. So maybe this 15749 is could potentially be a good pullback, or this 15772 level. I don't think you'll go all the way back up to 15793. So let me go ahead and mark these levels down. So 15748. So right there. And then we have this 15773 right here. And then for ES, up to this 4579 level. That's where we have some resistance. $15,720. Never stop, you never stop working. just remain patient until we find a good opportunity here. Let's take a look at ES here. So check out what ES is doing. Right? It's on the same page where we're tracing, and that's that level of support, or it was once support, and now I expect it to act as resistance. All right, you guys. Well, I do have a doctor's appointment, so I'm gonna have to call this one short. I normally go up to like 8:39 or 9. But once again, it's been a good session. I hope some of you capitalized. Definitely several opportunities. Um, yeah, we're live streaming every single morning. We'll be here tomorrow, same time, 10 minutes before the market opens, breaking down the market, highlighting some key levels. So if you guys found some value, feel free to come back tomorrow, and be sure to hit the like button. Thank you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.